Mark here and welcome to Biodiversity Shorts. Behind me in this mandarin tree, a family of blue-necked tanagers decided to build their nest a few months ago. They were quite close to the house and they weren't afraid of us at all. I got the long lenses out and I decided to get some footage. Let's go. This is our tanager. Now the male and the female of this species are alike, so it's difficult to tell which one is which. I'm going to assume that this one here is the female because she's sitting on the nest there. She is very, very well hidden, and she takes her time to make sure that no one sees her entering or leaving the nest. And that looks like an eggshell. So the chicks have been born. Both the male and the female assist with bringing up the young, and that looks like the first meal has just been brought to the chicks. Definitely a proud father. Day 6, and I managed to get a much better angle on the nest. It looks like we have 2 chicks. Their eyes are barely open, and they've got the reflexes just to reach up when they hear their parents coming. Now the parents are busy for most of the day feeding the chicks. That looks like a big hunk of banana. They also eat berries, small insects, and various other fruits. A few days later, and they have doubled in size. Typically the parents would visit the chicks every 5 minutes or so, and during the hottest parts of the day they would rest for maybe an hour or 2. Day 11, and the chicks are turning into rather fat eating machines. Of course, with eating goes along a lot of pooing as well. After reviewing the footage, I realised there was one chick missing. The parents knew where he was and had been feeding him throughout the day. While they looked on, I searched for him in the long grass. Found him. Now, I took a risk here. I assumed that the chick had fallen out due to some recent high winds, so I decided to lend a helping hand. In some species, the chicks will push out their siblings to reduce the competition. But in this case, I never observed any pushing amongst the siblings, and there is an absolute abundance of food in our garden. He did eventually make his own way back into the nest. As the light disappeared, I made one last long exposure and found that the mother was sitting on both chicks for the night. And the following day, as life is back to normal. Yuck. Sorry to show you that, but yes, the parents do eat their young's poo sometimes. Believe it or not, someone actually studied this behaviour in other species, and the evidence has it that there is some nutritional benefit to eating their young's fecal sacs. A little exercise is important in order to get ready for their first flights. I guess a busy parent will take a hot meal whenever they can get it. Day 15 and we had a major disaster. This is an Inca jay. It is a highly intelligent and social bird. It is an omnivore and it feeds on fruit, small animals like insects, lizards, even small snakes, and if they get the chance, the young of other birds or their eggs. And that morning, I found the tanager's nest in pieces on the ground. And the parents looking very upset. Fortunately, one chick survived. And it looked unharmed. Bad weather was rolling in, so I decided to give another helping hand. Even after the morning's ordeal, he still had a voracious appetite. The Inca jays are likely to remember where these birds live, so leaving the nest before the chick can fly is definitely a good strategy. Day 16, the first flight. So this was his home for a long time, and he's made his way across the yard to this tree here. He's definitely a lot more mobile now. I had a hard time keeping an eye on him. I had a feeling that his first flight was coming up, so I kept observing him throughout the day. By now, the parents were very used to my presence, and it was not a problem at all to quickly set up the camera in front of them. This is it, his first flight with his parents in hot pursuit. Over the next few days, I was not able to find the tanager family any longer because they were consistently moving about this terrain around me here. However, 11 days later, I did spot the young tanager on a leaf here, and he was still being fed by his parents, but as you can see, he's now fully fledged and looking really, really healthy. I knew it was him because I could get quite close. You've been watching Biodiversity Shorts. My name is Mark, and if you enjoy this content, please subscribe and tell your friends. I will catch you next time. Cheers. Is about this big.